Hello and welcome to the Seventh Rule. I'm here with your stars, Aron Eisenberg, that's Nog from Deep Space Nine, Cirroc Lofton, who was Jake Sisko in Deep Space Nine. We've got super producer Jarrod Cooper, and I'm Ryan T. Husk. Today we're going to talk about Star Trek news. We're going to talk about behind-the-scenes stuff with Deep Space Nine, and a little later we are going to cover the 4th episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 2. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with the 7th Rule.
Yes, that is how you do 4, Aaron. That's right.
I could do it that way. Or
That
I
was a
could
good laugh at the end.
that, okay?
We'll be right back with the 7th Rule. Welcome back to the 7th Rule with Aron Eisenberg and Cirroc Lofton. Also Jarrod and myself, but whatever. So first off, we've got a little bit of a quick hello. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing there?
I'm feeling a little sensitive today, but I think I'll be all right. I'm a little sensitive.
Oh boy, what else is new?
No, I'm not. I'm feeling great. I'm very happy to do our show again, and it's great to have Cirroc back.
Sorry I missed you guys last week. That was a bummer, but not so much because I was in paradise. So, you know,
not Paradise the city. Paradise.
No, paradise, the actual like island paradise.
Yeah.
So it was good to get a vacation for.
You basically went to Risa.
Well, you know what? It's funny because we go on these conventions, and sometimes you feel like it's a vacation because you're in a place like that's really nice to be in, but then you're also working, so it's not so much. You realize it's not a full vacation; it's just more like a work vacation. But this is the first time I had a chance to actually take a vacation in a while,
So you were there literally just for fun. There was no signing of autographs or meeting,
right,
or going on stage and talking about the show. And it's so true, because when we don't, people think, oh my God, you go all over the world. But oftentimes we're just in the hotel for literally 4 days, and then we go home, and we never really get to stay unless we pay for that extra time afterwards.
Yeah.
And
so I remember when, for example, being in Australia and doing the New Zealand convention.
That's nice.
I wanted to stay farther. Yeah, I wanted to stay longer to see stuff and do some sightseeing. So what Aaron is describing is, if we get there on the day before the convention, that means we have that night that we check in, and the next morning your whole day is pretty much booked from 8 to 8 almost, 8 to 6, let's say.
Yeah.
So, and that includes lunch. So you barely have 30 minutes to grab a lunch sometimes. That's why they cater most of the stuff. So, doing the conventions, it's great to be in different places and travel and meet the people in the different cities. But one of the things that I like to do is also sightsee and get to know the place that I'm in.
I heard that about you.
Yeah, I like to get around and be in the mix, But what have you heard?
Nothing.
Nothing.
The one time I stayed longer was in Italy. I did a convention about an hour out of Florence, and I knew, well, obviously I knew it was coming up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty cheap. Oftentimes I'll just go home because I got bills to pay. I got to get back to work. I got things to do, and I'll stress out. But this time I said, screw it. I'm going to stay for 3 days all by myself in Florence, and I paid for it. I found a really cool little hotel. It was not even a hotel. It was more like it was, but not like a Marriott, not like a chain. And it was so quaint, and it was in the middle of Florence. And then I literally just explored for 3 days. I'm not as much of a sightseer as in the I got to see all the tourist places. I'd rather just hang out and just explore the city or the countryside, wherever it might be, and just kind of enjoy the atmosphere of the place. And I don't often get to do that. I've been able to do that a few times in Germany, but Florence, oh my God, it was so beautiful. And then I got some amazing photographs from it. So
yeah, I've had the fortune to go to Italy several times. You know, my ex-wife is Italian. My daughter's Italian. So, and they're from Milan. But I've also, you know, done a lot of traveling around Venice and Rome as well. But I mean, Italy is one of the greatest. It's one of the most funnest places I've been to. I mean, there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
But when I travel, I like to go to museums and check out what kind of artwork they have or whatever they're preserving in the museums. So, for example, when I was in Spain, I went to the Del Prado Museum, which is, you know, they had some great Renaissance artwork that I got a chance to see. I also like to go to the old cathedrals in the cities. So, for example, when we were in Germany, I was in Cologne. They have some really nice cathedrals. In Austria, they have a cathedral called Stephanplatz, which has this really cool rusted green roof. I mean, those are the kind of, I like to look at the architecture, kind of feel the time of the time when those things were built, and also the artwork and the thing that makes the place what it is, which is you know, the cobblestones, the shops, and the old familiarity of the streets, the smells. So
smells, yeah, the smells.
Yeah,
I try to bring the smells home. So it's hard. I've got a few bottles though.
No, well, it's funny because sometimes I'm just walking in a random place and I'll just smell Ethiopia, for example. I'll say, "Oh, it smells like when I was in Ethiopia."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, smells just randomly can kind of.
You know, it's interesting that you do say that. We don't, when we talk about visiting places, no one ever says that. No one ever says that that's part, and that's one of our senses, right? We have our eyes, we have our mind, we have, you know, what it feels like, and scent is part of that. And that's a very, that's really interesting that you say that, because you're right. Different places do have, bring that into it that affect your experience in the location. The thing that I love about, oh, sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
I was just going to say that smell is the sense that we have that's most closely related to memory. So that's why a lot of times you smell something and it reminds you of a place or a time or a person more than any other sense.
Right.
A lot of times when I'll smell like medical stuff and I'll think about all the times I was, you know, in the hospital. It brings back that so quickly. So you're right. Yeah. And the thing I loved so much about Florence was how different it was from growing up in California. You know, the city is like, wow, it's just so vastly different to me. And it's more close to you know, I think if you live in New York, maybe you have a similarity to it because the streets are narrow and you got the cobblestone streets, though not so much maybe in New York. But I just fell in love with Florence. I'd love to go back to Italy again sometime. You and I should travel together, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to go out somewhere together. I've been out to a convention in Italy. It wasn't in Florence. It was in Rimini.
Oh,
a small city, but it actually has the oldest university in Europe is in Bologna, which is the city kind of next to it. And I went to go visit over there. Rimini is right on the sea. You get to look over it. It's just beautiful. I mean,
there's two groups that do conventions in Italy, right? There's that one, and then maybe the one I went to. I think I would.
Yeah, I really don't know too much about the conventions, like who's running what. But I've had the fortune to travel to places, meet the people there. And, you know, just get to know different cultures and be at a different place. That's one of the things you mentioned was the growing up in a different place. And that kind of different experience, you know, that you don't have to travel all the way to Italy to get a different experience. You could go to the Midwest here and it's completely different than being in, you know, California, Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
So there's different places in the United States that have different vibes and different feel. Even Northern California and certain places completely have a different vibe than the Southern California, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the trees and the more wooded areas, but
and the snow, the cold,
the cold, the climate, sure, yeah. But
well, we're spoiled in Southern California, no doubt.
Well, we've got some snow. We've got some snow going on right now in Southern California. If you just look out our windows, we can see snow in the hills right now.
I can't. All I see is Nog and Jake when I look out your window.
Yeah, I totally screwed up the intro. I should have said we're here with Cirroc Lofton and Aron Eisenberg. You know what I mean?
And this right here is why we were here so often, because I was so small and he was so tall, and this was the only way they could get us eye to eye.
Yeah.